A lot of people have made the connection that Rob McCoy's son, Mikey McCoy, was Charlie Kirk's chief of staff. That is a red flag. In the accounting world, you do not want two family members in leadership positions. One of the greatest threats in accounting is if two people work together to get around accounting internal controls. For instance, if you have two family members in senior positions, one person can make a fake expense request, the second person can approve it, and the accounting system will not know that anything is wrong. Now, we do not know for sure that Rob McCoy and Mikey McCoy were stealing money from Turning Point USA. All I am saying is that it is a red flag. Another red flag is someone named John McGovern. John McGovern is the highest paid employee at Turning Point USA. In fiscal year 2024, he made $420,709 in his salary at Turning Point USA and $35,960 in salary from related organizations, which we cannot trace because the financial statements are missing. In comparison, if we look at Charlie Kirk's combined salary from Turning Point USA and related organizations, Charlie Kirk made less money at $390,493. Let's look at the previous year in 2023. John McGovern makes a lot less at $223,613. It is unusual that his salary more than doubled in 1 year. John McGovern was involved in fundraising, which is essentially sales for a nonprofit, so it is not unheard of for a salesperson to make more money than the CEO. He also probably receives some kind of incentive payments based on how much fundraising he brings in. So maybe there is some explanation. But to double your salary in 1 year is very strange, especially for a nonprofit. Here's the bigger problem. John McGovern is listed as an employee under Turning Point USA. In fiscal year 2023, for Turning Point Action, he's listed separately as an independent contractor that was paid $512,100 for fundraising. He is getting paid from both organizations. If you add that together, that is $735,713. What is going on here? Let me ask the donors of Turning Point USA, does it bother you that they are spending $736,000 for one person for fundraising? Remember that Tyler Boyer is the COO for Turning Point Action. Why is Tyler Boyer paying a contract to a Turning Point USA employee? What is also alarming about this is that Turning Point Action specifically was fined $18,000 by the FEC in November 2024 for failing to disclose its donors. Now, it is possible that this FEC investigation was just lawfare by the Biden administration, but it does raise concerns. Why is there a pattern of questionable financial disclosure? Why was Tyler Boyer hiding donor information? Now it seems he's not reporting salary compensation, and the financial statements are missing. In my opinion, this looks blatantly illegal. You cannot pay an employee a contract on the side through a shell company and not report any of it as compensation. It looks like there are a number of laws being broken here. Now, maybe Turning Point has an explanation for this, but I would like to know what that is. Now, there's not a lot of information about John McGovern. He's kind of a shadowy figure that we don't know a lot about. It is strange that such a secretive person would be involved in sales. That's pretty unusual. But he does have a Facebook page. And if you look at his profile, you see that he is constantly traveling around the world. Why does this man do so much international travel? Specifically, there are a lot of videos of him spending time in Ukraine. It turns out that he operates a nonprofit called To the Nations that is described on their website as a charity that currently exists to assist Ukraine. Now remember that Charlie Kirk was very vocal against the US funding the war in Ukraine. In a post on X.com, he criticized Ukraine's transgender military spokesperson. He said, Ashton Cirio is now taking to social media threatening to hunt down and kill those who criticize the country's government. Just so you understand what Charlie Kirk was talking about here, I'm going to show you exactly what the transgender spokesperson said.
Next week, the teeth of the Russian devils will gnash ever harder, and their rabid mouths will foam in uncontrollable frenzy as the world will see a favorite Kremlin propagandist pay for their crimes. And this puppet of Putin is only the first. Russia's war criminal propagandists will all be hunted down, and justice will be served as we in Ukraine are led on this mission by faith in God, liberty, and complete liberation.
This person says propagandists will all be hunted down and justice will be served. If you remember, Tucker Carlson was actually placed on a kill list and remains on that list to this day. You might also remember that the second assassination attempt on Donald Trump was committed by Ryan Ruth, who also spent time in Ukraine. Isn't it strange that there are all these connections between assassins and Ukraine right before Charlie Kirk was murdered? And now we have John McGovern, the highest paid employee at Turning Point USA, getting strange contracts on the side and spending all this time in Ukraine, the same country where there is a lot of people who want to kill Charlie Kirk. According to his Facebook page, John McGovern left to take a trip to Ukraine on July 24th, 2 months before Charlie Kirk's murder. Then after the murder, John McGovern returns back to Ukraine for a second trip just last month. Am I the only person who is seeing red flags all over the place? And by the way, if John McGovern is spending so much time in Ukraine, who exactly is he getting the money from for his Turning Point fundraising?